What makes a country? What makes a territory? Land, borders, a currency, recognition from others? Yes, all of those are very important indeed. Yet, something also quite important most countries and territories, not all as you'll see, have is a national animal, a symbol, a representation of their culture and identity, something to bring everyone together. So here's a list I've compiled of the 253 national animals of all nations and territories from around the globe, ordered from A to Z. Afghanistan has two, the snow leopard and the Abyssinian cat. For the islands it is the red deer. For Albania it is the golden eagle. For Algeria it is the fennec fox. For American Samoa it is the flying fox. Andorra has two, their national animal, the Bruna d'Andorra cow, and their national bird, the lammergeier, aka the bearded vulture. Angola has two, the sable antelope, and their national bird, the red-crested troco. For Anguilla it is the Zaneta dove. Antigua and Barbuda has three, their national animal, the fallow deer, their national bird, the frigate, and their national sea creature, the hawksbill turtle. For Argentina it is the rufous hornell. For Armenia it is the golden eagle and possibly the lion. For Aruba it is the prakichi. For Ascension Island it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. Australia has two, their national animal, the red kangaroo, and their national bird, the emu. Austria has three, the mythical creature, the Austrian Bundesadler, aka the feral eagle, which is also featured on their coat of arms, the great egret, and the black eagle. And finally, for Azerbaijan it is the Karabakh horse. The Bahamas has two, their national fish, the Atlantic blue martin, and their national bird, the flamingo. For Bahrain it is the Arabian oryx. Bangladesh has three, their national animal, the Royal Bengal tiger, their national bird, the magpie robin, and their national fish, the ilish. For Barbados it is the mahi-mahi. For Belarus it is the European bison. For Belgium it is the mythical creature, the Leo belgicus, aka the heralded Belgic lion, which is also featured on their coat of arms. Belize has two, their national animal, the Baird's tapir, and their national bird, the keel-billed toucan. For Benin it is the African leopard. For Bermuda it is the Bermuda petrel, aka the pterodromic cow. Baton has two, the mythical creature, the drak, which is the animal featured on their flag, and the takin. Bolivia has two, the Andean condor, and the llama. For Bosnia and Herzegovina it is the tornyak. For Botswana it is the plains zebra. For Bouvet Island it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. Brazil has two, their national animal, the jaguar, and their national bird, the rufous-bellied thrush. For the British Indian Ocean Territory it is the striated heron. For the British Virgin Islands it is the mourning dove. For Brunei Darussalam it is the white-bellied sea eagle. For Bulgaria it is the lion. For Burkina Faso it is the white stallion. And finally, for Burundi it is the Transvaal lion and the spotted hyena. For Cabo Verde it is the manatees. Cambodia has four, their national mammal, the kupri, their national bird, the giant ibis, their national reptile, the northern river terrapin, and their national fish, the giant bob. For Cameroon it is the lion. Canada has two, their national animal, the North American beaver, and their national horse, the Canadian horse. For the Cayman Islands it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For the Central African Republic it is the African elephant. Chad has two, their northern national animal, the goat, and their southern national animal, the lion. Chile has two, the Andean condor, and the humol, aka the South Andean deer. China has three, their national animals, the mythical creature, the Chinese dragon, and the giant panda, and their national bird, the red-crowned crane. For Christmas Island, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For the Cocos, Keeling Islands, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Colombia, it is the Andean condor. For Comoros, it is the mongoose lemur. For the Cook Islands, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. Costa Rica has 5. Their national animals: the white-tailed deer, the two-toed sloth, and the three-toed sloth. Their national bird: the iguiro. Iki, the clay-colored thrush, and their national aquatic animal: West Indian manatee. For Cote d'Ivoire, it is the African elephant. For Croatia, it is the pine marten. For Cuba, it is the Cuban trogon. For Korea, it is the flamingo. For Cyprus, it is the Cypriot mouflon. And finally, for the Czech Republic, it is the mythical creature, the double-tailed lion, which is also featured on their coat of arms. For the Democratic Republic of the Congo, it is the okapi. Denmark has 3. Their national mammal: the red squirrel. Their national bird: the mute swan. And their national butterfly: the small tortoiseshell. For Djibouti, it is the elk. For Dominica, it is the Cicero parrot. And finally, for the Dominican Republic, it is the ponchet. For Easter Island, Ike Rapa Nui Orila di Poscua, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Ecuador, it is the Andean condor. For Egypt, it is the steppe eagle. For El Salvador, it is the turquoise-browed marmot. For England, it is the lion. For Equatorial Guinea, it is the giraffe. For Eritrea, it is the Arabian camel. Estonia has 4. Their national animal: the grey wolf. Their national bird: the barn swallow. Their national fish: the Baltic herring. And their national butterfly: the swallowtail. For Eswatini, it is the impala, and possibly the Thompson's gazelle. And finally, for Ethiopia, it is the lion. For the Falkland Islands, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For the Faroe Islands, it is the Eurasian oystercatcher. For Fiji, it is the Fiji banded iguana. Finland has 5. Their national animal: the brown bear. Their national bird: the whooper swan. Their national butterfly: the holly blue. Their national fish: the European perch. And their national insect: the 7-spot ladybird. For France, it is the Gallic rooster. For French Guiana, it is the brocket deer. For French Polynesia, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. And finally, for the French Southern Territories, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Gabon, it is the black panther. For the Gambia, it is the lion and possibly the spotted hyena. For Georgia, it is the white-tailed deer. For Germany, it is the mythical creature, the Bundesadler AK, the heraldic federal eagle, which is also featured on their coat of arms, and possibly the black eagle. For Ghana, it is the tawny eagle, and possibly the golden eagle. For Gibraltar, it is the Barbary macaque. Greece has 2. Their national animal: the dolphin, and their national bird: the mythical creature, the phoenix. For Greenland, it is the polar bear. For Grenada, it is the Grenada dove. For Guadeloupe, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Guam, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Guatemala, it is the resplendent quetzal. For Guernsey, it is the donkey, and possibly the Guernsey cow. For Guinea, it is the African elephant. For Guinea-Bissau, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. And finally, for Guyana, it is the jaguar. For Haiti, it is the Espanol and Trugan. Honduras has 2. Their national animals: the white-tailed deer, and their national bird: the scarlet macaw. For Hong Kong, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, Put it in the comments. And finally, for Hungary, it is the mythical creature the Toril, most likely the falco cherry. For Iceland, it is the gerfalcon. India has 5. Their national animal, the Bengal tiger. Their national bird, the Indian peacock. Their national reptile, the king cobra. Their national aquatic animal, the Ganges river dolphin. And their national heritage animal, the Indian elephant. Indonesia has 4. Their national animal, the Komodo dragon. Their national bird, the Javon hawk eagle. Their national fish, the Asian arowana. And their national heritage animal, the mythical creature, the Garuda, which is also featured on their national emblem. For Iran, it is the Asiatic lion. For Iraq, it is the goat, and possibly the Iraqi eagle, aka the golden eagle, and the Chuka partridge. For Ireland, it is the red deer and Irish hare. For the Isle of Man, it is possibly the Manx cat. Israel has 4. Their national bird, the Eurasian hoopoe. Their national dog, the Canaan dog. Their national reptile, the Daboia palestinae. And their national butterfly, the common blue. And finally, for Italy, it is the Italian wolf. For Jamaica, it is the red-billed streamer-tail. Japan has 2. Their national bird, the green pheasant, and their national fish, the carp. For Jersey, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. And finally, for Jordan, it is the Arabian oryx. For Kazakhstan, it is the golden eagle. For Kenya, it is the lion. For Kiribati, it is the magnificent frigate bird. For Kosovo, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Kuwait, it is the Arabian camel. And finally, for Kyrgyzstan, it is the marker goat. For Laos, it is the Indian elephant. Latvia has 2. Their national bird, the white wagtail, and their national insect, the two-spotted ladybird. For Lebanon, it is the striped hyena. For Lesotho, it is the black rhino. For Liberia, it is the lion. For Libya, it is the Arabian eagle, aka the Eastern imperial eagle, and the lion. For Liechtenstein, it is the kestrel. For Lithuania, it is the white stork. And finally, for Luxembourg, it is the lion. For Macau, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Madagascar, it is the zebu and the ring-tailed lemur. For Malawi, it is the Thompson's gazelle. For Malaysia, it is the Malayan tiger. For the Maldives, it is the yellowfin tuna. For Mali, it is the vulture. For Malta, it is the Faroe hound. For the Marshall Islands, it is the black-footed cat. For Martinique, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Mauritania, it is the African wildcat. For Mauritius, it is the now extinct bird, the dodo. Mexico has 5. Their national animal, the golden eagle. Their national dog, the Zoloid squintly. Their national mammal, the jaguar. Their national arthropod, the grasshopper. And their national marine mammal, vaquita. For Micronesia, it is the chook flying fox. For Moldova, it is the now extinct animal, the oryx. For Monaco, it is the hedgehog. Mongolia has 2. Their national, the gobi bear, and their national bird, the Saka falcon, and possibly the Przewalski horse. Montenegro has 2. Their national animal, the Balkan lynx, and their national bird, the golden eagle. For Montserrat, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Morocco, it is the Barbary lion. For Mozambique, it is the African elephant. And finally, for Myanmar, it is the green peafowl. For Namibia, it is the Gensbok. For Nauru, it is the great frigate bird. Nepal has 2. Their national animal, the cow, and their national bird, the Himalayan mammal, aka the Danfi. The Netherlands has 2. Their national animal, or heraldic symbol, the lion, which is also featured on their coat of arms, and their national bird, the black-tailed godwit. For New Caledonia, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For New Zealand, it is the kiwi. For Nicaragua, it is the gardabaronco, aka turquoise-browed marmot. For Niger, it is the doma gazelle. For Nigeria, it is the eagle and the black-crowned crane. For Niue, it is the Niue blue Nakaduba niwensis. For Norfolk Island, it is the Norfolk Island green parrot, aka the Norfolk Island parakeet. North Korea has 3. Their national animal, the mythical creature, the cholama, their national dog, the Punzan dog, and their national bird, the Korean magpie. For North Macedonia, it is the lion. For Northern Ireland, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For the Northern Mariana Islands, it is the Mariana fruit dove. And finally, Norway has 4. Their national animal, the moose, their royal national animal, the lion, which is also featured on their coat of arms. Their national bird, the white-throated dipper, their national horse, the fjord horse. For Oman, the only nation that begins with this letter, it is the Arabian oryx. Pakistan has 6. Their national animal, the markhor, their national aquatic mammal, the Indus River dolphin, their national reptile, the Indus crocodile, their national bird, the chukar, their national heritage bird, the Shaheen falcon, and their national predator, the snow leopard. For Palau, it is the Palau fruit dove. Palestine has 2. Their national animal, the gazelle, and their national bird, the Palestine sunbird. For Panama, it is the harpy eagle, and possibly the Panamanian golden frog. For Papua New Guinea, it is the dugong. For Paraguay, it is the pampas fox. Peru has 2. Their national animal, the vicuga, and their national bird, the Andean cock of the rock. The Philippines has 2. Their national animal, the carabao, and their national bird, the Philippine eagle. For Pitcairn Islands, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. Poland has 3. Their national animal, the European bison, and their two national birds, the white-tailed eagle and the white stork. Portugal has 3. The Iberian wolf, and the 2 mythical creatures, the dragon, which is also featured on their traditional coat of arms, and the cock of Barcelos. And finally, for Puerto Rico, it is the coqui. For Qatar, the only nation that begins with this letter, it is the Arabian oryx. For the Republic of the Congo, it is the okapi. For Romania, it is the Eurasian lynx. Russia has 2. Their national animal, the Eurasian brown bear, and the mythical creature, the double-headed eagle, which is also featured on their traditional coat of arms. For Rwanda, it is the leopard. And finally, for Reunion, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Saint Bartholomew, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Saint Helena, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Saint Kitts and Nevis, it is the brown pelican. For Saint Lucia, it is the Saint Lucia Amazon. For Saint Martin, it is the pelican. For Saint Pierre and Miquelon, it is the great dolphin. For St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it is the St. Vincent parrot Anson. For Samoa, it is the tooth-billed pigeon, aka the Manumia or the Tanduva. San Marino has 2. Their national animal, the Bodigiano, and their national bird, the peregrine falcon. For Sao Tome and Principe, it is the Sao Tome shrew. For Saudi Arabia, it is the Arabian camel. For Scotland, it is the mythical creature, the unicorn. For Senegal, it is the lion. For Serbia, it is the grey wolf. For the Seychelles, it is the flying foxes. For Sierra Leone, it is the chimpanzee. For Singapore, it is the lion. For St. Eustatius, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For St. Martin, the Dutch part of St. Martin, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Slovakia, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Slovenia, it is the Carney owl and honeybee. For the Solomon Islands, it is the hawksbill turtle. For Somalia, it is the leopard. South Africa has 3. Their national animal, the springbok. Their national bird, the blue crane. And their national fish, the guljon. For South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For South Korea, it is the Siberian tiger. For South Sudan, it is the African fish eagle. For Spain, it is the bull. Sri Lanka has 2. Their national animal, the lion. Their national bird, the Sri Lankan jungle fowl. For Sudan, it is the Sudan cheetah. For Suriname, it is the jaguarundi. For Svalbard and Jan Mayen, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. Sweden has 2. Their national animal, the Eurasian elk. Moose, and their national bird, the Eurasian blackbird. For Switzerland, it is the St. Bernhard dog. And finally, for Syria, it is the Syrian brown bear. For Taiwan, it is the Formosan black bear. For Tajikistan, it is the Marco Polo sheep, e.k. the Ovis ammonpoli. For Tanzania, it is the giraffe. Thailand has 2. Their national animal, the Asian elephant, and their national aquatic animal, the Siamese fighting fish. For Timor-Leste, it is the crocodile. For Togo, it is the lion. For Tokelau, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Tonga, it is the flying fox. For Trinidad and Tobago, it is the scarlet ibis. For Tristan da Cunha, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. Tunisia has 3, possibly 4. The now extinct animal, the North African elephant, the Barbary lion, and the golden eagle, and possibly the Arabian camel. For Turkey, it is the grey wolf, with a special she-wolf named Asina as their mythological national animal. For Turkmenistan, it is the Central Asian shepherd dog, e.k. the alabai, and the Turkmen wolfhound. For the Turks and Caicos Islands, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. And finally, for Tuvalu, it is unapplicable, as they appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Uganda, it is the grey-crowned crane, and possibly the Uganda cock. For Ukraine, it is the nightingale. The United Arab Emirates UAE has 3. Their national animal, the Arabian oryx, and their two national birds, the peregrine falcon and the saker falcon. The United States of America USA has 2. Their national mammal, the American bison, and their national bird, the bald eagle. For the United States Virgin Islands, it is the bananaquit. For Uruguay, it is the southern lapwing. And finally, for Uzbekistan, it is the Turkestan sandcat. For Vanuatu, it is the iguana. For the Vatican City, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For Venezuela, it is the Venezuelan troupial. And finally, for Vietnam, it is the water buffalo. Wales has 2, the red kite, and the mythical creature, the white dragok, the Welsh dragon, which is also featured on their flag. For Wallis and Futuna, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. For the West Bank, it is unknown. They appear not to have one. If you know, put it in the comments. And finally, for the Western Sahara, it is the Adax. For Yemen, the only nation that begins with this letter, it is the Arabian leopard. For Zambia, it is the African fish eagle. And finally, Zimbabwe has 3. their national animal, the sable antelope, and their two national birds, the African fish eagle and the bateleur. And finally for this episode, a bonus one, since it is neither a nation nor a territory, but a landmass nonetheless. For Antarctica, it is the emperor penguin.